This is Top Accolade African News Updates. I am Soibifa Jackridge. Several African governments are defending their decision to send large delegations to the COP28 climate conference in Dubai amid widespread criticism. The UN's attendance list revealed that Nigeria, Morocco, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, and Uganda were among the countries that sent the biggest teams. Nigeria sent 1,411 people, followed by Morocco with 823 and Kenya with 765. Representative of Nigeria and Kenya on Sunday said that many of the delegates on their list were not publicly funded, as they were representing the media, civil society organizations, and private institutions. Both countries also said that some of the listed delegates are participating remotely. As the biggest country in Africa, the biggest economy, and one with a bigger stake in climate actions as a country with a huge extractive economy, it is a no-brainer that the delegates from Nigeria will be more than any other country in Africa. A statement by an advisor of Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu said. Kenyan State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed told privately owned Citizen TV that the number was exaggerated as it represented those who had registered for the event, not those who attended. He added that the national government had only cleared 51 essential delegates and the rest had been sponsored by other groups. In a statement, the Tanzanian government said more than 90% of the delegation from the country were sponsored by the private sector. M23 Rebels say they will reoccupy areas that are being vacated by a regional force in the troubled Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. A Kenyan contingent of about 300 soldiers were the first to leave their position in Goma, the capital of North Kivu province. Early on Sunday, the troops were deployed in the region about a year ago at the request of Dr. Congo's government in the hope of containing the resurgent M23 rebel group. But the government has since criticized the East African force as ineffective and has refused to renew its mandates. Kenya troops occupied Kimbuba and Kibati and other positions north of Goma. In a statement, the M23 said it will recover and occupy all areas that it handed over to the regional forces at the beginning of the peace process. A ceasefire agreed to last month has been ignored, leading to fresh fighting. Dr. Congo's president, Felix Tshisekedi, who is seeking re-election, has said rebels controlled might not participate in the December vote for security reasons. It is not clear when soldiers from other countries will start to leave their positions. Late last year, M23 rebels handed areas they had captured in the Rutshuru, Masisi, and Yirangongo areas of North Kivu to contingents from Burundi, Kenya, South Sudan, and Uganda. This was in line with a peace deal reached in talks in Kenya and Angola. British lawyers could be stationed in courts in Rwanda as part of a treaty to allow the UK government to send asylum seekers to the country. It would aim to address concerns from the Supreme Court, which ruled the Rwanda plan unlawful last month. Details are expected on Tuesday, with Home Secretary James Cleverly flying to Rwanda to sign the agreement. It would be followed by a new law aiming to prevent the scheme being blocked again in the courts. Meanwhile, the government is expected to announce plans later to reduce legal migration after figures published last week showed net migration hit a record high in 2022. The Rwanda policy, first announced in April 2022, would see some asylum seekers sent to the East African country to claim asylum there. After last month's Supreme Court ruling, ministers are facing to revive the policy before the spring, when they want the first flight to take off. Those not granted refugee status to stay in Rwanda could apply to settle there on other grounds or seek asylum in another safe third country. The Supreme Court, the UK's highest court, rejected the policy on the grounds that it could not be guaranteed that Rwanda's court would honor a principle of international law known as non-refoulement. The principle forbids a country that receives asylum seekers from returning them to their country of origin if doing so would put them at at risk of harm. Following the decision, the government said it would seek a formal treaty with Rwanda, a move it believed would provide stronger legal guarantees than its current bilateral agreement. A new deal is now close and could see British lawyers stationed in Rwandan courts as part of efforts to address the Supreme Court's concern. Severe flooding and landslides have killed at least 47 people and wounded 80 others in northern Tanzania, local officials say. It happened near the slopes of Mount Hanang, where President Samia Hassan has now deployed national security forces to help rescue efforts. Homes and infrastructure were also damaged by the adverse weather. Flooding is said to be the greatest natural hazard in Tanzania, affecting tens of thousands of people each year. East Africa has been badly hit by floods and landslides in 2023, partly caused by the El Nino weather phenomenon. Last month in Tanzania, higher than usual rainfall resulted in deaths and destructions to property in the capital, Dar es Salaam, and the areas of Kigoma, Kagera, Geita, and Unguja. Crops in some parts of the country have been washed away, affecting people's livelihoods. Tanzania's meteorology agency has warned that the rains will continue this month. That is the size of top accolades African news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Monday.